All right, good morning. This is Joshua Allen coming at you live on Regional Business Connect. I'm with Raw Food Hub and Giving Tree Australia, based in Coffs Harbour. So, real pleasure to answer the 10 at 10 questions for Regional Business Connect. First thing you wanted to know was how many years I've been in business. So, I've been in business for really the last 30 years, working both in large corporates, but also always running the entrepreneurial side hustle. And I've built 7 businesses over the last 20 years. But we're here to talk about Raw Food Hub and Giving Tree. So Raw Food Hub has launched 3 years ago in its current format and currently servicing a few hundred families across the region. And Giving Tree Australia is a project that's been building up in development for about 5 years and getting ready to launch soon. In terms of how we like to market the business and why we use different channels, we certainly do get a lot of value out of using social media. It is strong for us. But really, what we've been doing more and more lately is using very specific tools to do analysis of every single activity so that we can see the return on investment. And our basic theory is that if it's delivering value, we do more of it. If it's not, we immediately stop. And I guess the way that we market the business really is with something we call high automation with high touch. So what I'm saying is we like to give the customer as much control as we can. You know, we believe customers deserve to be in control of the relationship at all times, but we do make phone calls and talk directly to customers. We know that nothing can beat a personal relationship one-on-one when it's trusted and it's genuine. In terms of the biggest business disaster, we were asked to talk about that. Very, very hard for an entrepreneur and certainly an optimist like myself to look at things as a disaster. I tend to see everything as an opportunity or a challenge that can be overcome or something that can be learnt from the experience. But there was a time some years ago where a consultant recommended what was a very complex legal structure for our business, having different legal entities for each activity, interrelationships between the entities. It was probably the structure that was right for a much, much bigger company at the time. The challenge was we were never able to really get a good consolidated view overall of where we were at. And so that made it very hard to develop good strategy and have the management information we needed. The turnaround for that has really been to choose to trade out of just 2 companies. So Raw Food Hub and Giving Tree Australia. Giving Tree Australia is the not-for-profit that has very specific activities around building resilience for farmers and food and agriculture. And then Raw Food Hub, which is a business focused around the sales and distribution of that food and connecting to households all across the region. So really where we're at now is growing into the very big shoes that were set in place by that consultant many years ago and starting to focus in on more focused trading across just a couple of entities. So I was asked to talk about the most important business tools that we have, and without reservation I can say that it's the people that work for us and with us that are the most absolutely valuable asset that we have. That includes staff that think like founders. It includes about 25 different mentors that I've had over the years, some voluntary, some paid. But I go to those mentors and ask them for very specific advice around what they know, and then lots of industry contacts that have helped us with knowledge and materials and exposure. And the way we sort of draw all of that advice together is via digital systems that sort of give us that management data, and we record things. And some of those systems are still independent of each other. We're just working out how to integrate them together, create dashboards for management and dashboards for customers, dashboards for staff that are interacting in the business. And we know that that's a really, really great way of just making sure that what we think is right, and we can refer back to it over time. Our most prized business system would have to be the way that we curate the value proposition for customers when it comes to food. There are so many variables in this business, from dealing with farmers, dealing with weather, dealing with logistics, dealing with how we bring the product together, what actual volume makes up each box. You know, how are we going to make sure that every single product is the freshest, most perfect product it can be, how to train staff, how to do that. We call our staff food box artists for a very specific reason, because the way they go about packing your box. So all of that is being systemized, some of it is being digitized, and some of it will remain a human process, but it's exactly what we know is the magic of how we do things here. I was asked about what our preference is in running a small or a large enterprise. We have a huge aspiration to build a very, very big business. All these letters you see behind me on the wall are from industry, supporters, business, government, who've sent us letters to say we love what you guys are doing around food and farming. The current project we're working on with Giving Tree Australia is a $27 million project for Coffs Harbour. 2 farms, one that will have a couple of hundred farmers farming on it, and the other farm is channels to market for every farmer in the region around food and paddock to plate and education and connectivity for the community. Our vision is to build this in Coffs Harbour, and then we have desire to share our intellectual property and certain resources with organisations around Australia. So we're pretty busy. One of the questions was, how do we maintain work-life balance? It's absolutely something that I've been trying to master for a very, very long time. The best thing I did recently was quit my 12-year career in banking. Really great to be able to refocus that time around projects that we're working on here. Hiring and trusting good staff has really helped for myself and my wife and other members of the team to specialise in the work they do, rather than trying to do everything across just a few people. Probably the best solution, I'd say, is for us scheduling about 6 hours of work that I do while other people are sleeping. I tend to go to bed pretty early at night and wake up really, really early, around 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and start my day, which really, really helps to have that quiet time to do a lot of admin and management thinking before the busyness of the day kicks in. But look, really for me, my passion is my work. My life revolves around that, because I'm building a company around food, around well-being, around health, around community, social enterprise, and the sharing economy. To be honest, I feel everything is in balance. It's absolutely a fantastic opportunity to spend every day doing what I love and being immersed in that environment with people that are equally as passionate. And so it does take a team to really build an organisation. I was asked by Regional Business Connect what the most important thing to do is when managing a team. By far, it's about leading by example. Do the work exactly as you'd like it to be done by others. Show them how to do it, train them, work alongside them, and just be consistent. Treating everyone the same way and equally, I've found, really goes a long way in earning trust and respect. And then the last thing is around putting things in writing. Put company policy in writing, the way you do things around here. Put people's job descriptions in writing, doesn't matter how small an organisation you are, and just measure the success and tell everyone this is how we're going to measure our success, so everyone gets a sense of that and ends up owning it. So the most important piece of advice I have for anyone listening in running a business and being successful is to win quick, lose quick. Be really quick to make decisions and see what's working and do more of it, and see what's not working and do less of it. The buzzword at the moment today is to pivot, to make a change, to implement something new, test it, measure it, quickly find out whether it works, and then ultimately do more of those things that work. So it's really, really nice to have been able to share all of this insight with the group that is online. Really, really appreciate the opportunity. If you want to know more about Raw Food Hub or Giving Tree Australia, if you're interested in the 500 jobs that we're going to create in the region, then I encourage you to give me a call and tell me what you can do, ask questions, find out more about what we're up to, and would love to engage. So thank you very much, and I look forward to an opportunity to connect with all of you.